Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, LonnDawg? I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me? There,
Doug,
maybe. Yeah, now I
okay.
hear you.
All right. Sorry, my headphones turned off. I
Okay.
was also on a call from a customer. I know a
Ah,
guy who's been with me for many years. He's got other issues, not with a computer.
all right. All right. So good to have you on voice finally. Gee.
Well, I hope I
All
sound
right.
reasonable.
Oh, really, really good. Yeah, absolutely. See, I'm gonna make it switch to window change there, and I am recording this for public publishing later.
All right. So be a
And
little careful on what you poke into. But there's really nothing on my computer other than personal, like
okay,
pictures.
sure,
But
sure. So
before you
what?
do it, I'll say yes or no, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I will ask you a lot of questions and actually have you do some driving. So
Okay.
before this recorded session, we got the remote session going, and I did have it recording that time during that time. So I might be pulling out some pieces from that to edit into this video when I publish it. But let's start with you bringing up in File Explorer some files that are causing this symptom where the monitor blinks out. I know you have some other symptoms that you're also interested in going on to, but I'd like to just focus on this one for now so I
Okay.
can get a
That's
handle on it.
that's totally understandable. Did you see that was those error messages? For some reason, I could not use Thunderbird. I'm a little nervous, so I'm clicking, I'm twitching because too much damn coffee this morning. Seriously, I am hitting the button and it's like multiple times when I mean telling my brain that, do it once. But anyways, that's nerves.
Right?
Um, let's see, what was it I was going to say? I was going to say that was Microsoft Mail that's built into Windows.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it likes to block a lot of links. I think in Microsoft Mail, okay, there is something in there that wants to block because it's dangerous you from clicking on a site, okay? And maybe that's something we can look into
Yeah.
in a
Let's do
future
it.
thing. Okay.
Let's not go down that road much more right
All
now.
right.
Let me stick to
Let
one
me
thing at a time.
grab the mouse. Let's
Yeah,
see.
you got it.
I might. Now there, watch the mouse. If you go off this way too far, that's
Yeah.
another screen.
Okay.
Okay, there's another screen on this side. All right. So typically what happens, oh, and by the way, too, I was saying that something's wrong with the download, but we'll just go
Now
through
don't go off on another squirrel. Take
okay.
me back to this file that was not opening for you.
Okay, mini files. Okay, let's try a music file. Okay. Now I do a lot of downloading of music files.
Okay.
So let's see what's in here. It could be a blank folder. Uh, Most of my stuff is on an external drive. Let's see here, video projects. Okay, you see the hourglass?
Yeah.
See the hourglass? It's going to blink. There it goes.
Okay.
I was trying to open a file.
A folder.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then look, I'm back to the desktop. everything seems to be working again. I'm going to try a different pathway. Music, that's where I was. Here's something I made with Movie Maker. Let's see if we can go in there. I highlighted it. No hourglass. All I did was highlight it. Sometimes when you highlight it, it goes into the hourglass. Now I'm going to double click it. Oh, shit. Nothing's in the folder. Thanks. Star Trek sounds. Okay, there it is. It's going to blink again. Give it a few times. There it goes. Again, music. Whoops. Oh, see, that's my fingers again. Okay. Music. Star Trek sounds.
Okay, now let me have the mouse here.
Okay.
When we get into Star Trek sounds, let me have the mouse so I'm experiencing it. Let's see. Okay, well, there's is that the same folder that previously blinked out on us like that?
Yes.
Okay, so then I'm going back to music, and I'm going to go down these one at a time. So I did a single click on playlist. I got the hourglass, and it's going to do the blink. Okay, now then I'm going to go through each of those, and then depending upon results, we're going to go a different direction. So Star Trek sounds, you did get into that once. Now when I click on that, there's an hourglass. Waiting. I only clicked once. Okay, and there's the symptom you described, but we did get into there once.
Yes, sometimes it seems like on the very first click, after a period of time, you can try documents if you want.
Let me stick with a course of action first. So this one, and then when I'm highlighting it, it says empty folder. When I highlight this one,
there's files in there.
All right. Well, this one is, I'm clicked on it, so it's telling me empty folder. This one, I click on it, got the hourglass. Okay. Go back to music again. And that was video projects I just did, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
And this one,
I think it's an empty folder.
Yeah, it says right there. It's displaying that on the screen, empty folder. I'm going to do a single left click on it, see what I get. Okay, empty folder, and double click, and it goes into it just fine. Now, then come back up to this one that says empty folder. I can go into it just fine. Then instead of left clicking on Star Trek sounds, I'm going to up arrow on the keyboard, and there's an hourglass. So I didn't click, I did an up arrow, and we got that same symptom. Okay, so narrowing down what triggers this symptom. And then I can left click on this one, so I do that, and then I'm going to down arrow once and hourglass. Okay, now this is in this PC and music folder. I'm going to go check on this music folder, clicking up here in the address bar, and it's showing, not showing the location. If I come up here to click access, do we have music showing up here? No, we have music showing down here. And that, it's in OneDrive. Okay, so you have OneDrive. Let's check on the status of your OneDrive.
I believe it's turned off, technically.
Pressing the Windows key. Yeah. I'm going to turn off my picture-in-picture here for a moment.
I don't use OneDrive, so I believe I've turned it off.
Okay, but you still have all your data in OneDrive folders. Let's see, there's no OneDrive showing there. That's not it. Sonic Suite Companion.
That's part of the ASUS software.
Yeah.
When I was going to, another subject.
Okay. All right. Come down to your C drive and users folder. When I click on user folder, it's going to expose the other usernames
It's
on the
okay.
computer. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
All
It's
right.
okay.
And then LonnDawg is what we're signed in now as, correct?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All right. So if we come down here to music, right click on that, choose properties, and look at the location. That is not in a OneDrive folder. So this is your native music folder. And so these folder names are a little bit different than what we were seeing in your OneDrive folder. How long ago did you disassociate from OneDrive?
Oh, a long time ago. But there are files in it from the past.
Okay.
I just have no need for OneDrive. I was using it to share files,
Okay.
but nobody wanted to share with me. So
let's go look at another folder structure because
yeah,
actually when I clicked on the C drive, we got the same symptom. So I'm gonna do. I want to go to your applications program, your AppWiz.
okay.
And that's going to show us all the programs that are installed on the computer. Is that okay?
Yeah, I believe so.
So I'm doing this with Windows key R, appwiz.cpl. It just takes us straight into this list and get awareness of what's installed on here. So 7-zip, AI Suite, Armory Crate, ASUS, Bell-Lark Advisor, Bing, Bitwarden, Blackmagic, Raw, Common Components, Brave, CPU.
Yesterday I did do some deleting. I got rid of Pro Tools, which wasn't an issue. Okay. This problem occurred many weeks after the Pro Tools install. Okay.
Then
I'll let you concentrate.
Epic Games, some Epson stuff, Game First, Geek Bench, Intel Loadout, Logitech, Acronym Malwarebytes, Microsoft, bunch of Microsoft stuff, of course. Mu0 hash code. Do you know what that is?
Yes, it's a program for creating, or when you get a hash code, an SHA-1, so you put the file in there and then it compares the hash code.
Okay,
it's an old program. Yeah,
that's enough.
Back in the okay.
Oracle, Overwolf, Pace, License, Power Toys.
That Pace thing is from Pro Tools. They have an outside validator for their software.
Okay, good. That's enough on that.
Okay.
Samsung, Shadowlines, Specky. Tell me about Specky. What's Specky? Uniform?
Puriform. That's a species when you want to check out the specifications on a machine. And it's a good program.
Okay.
And
got it.
It will tell you some software and some other things.
Okay, enough on that. Two-way AI noise, VGA, VLC, VMware, Warhammer.
Warhammer's a game.
Game, all right. And
yep.
Installed November. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of an awareness of what's going on here. Awareness of your computer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't do much gaming. I just tried to do it. Okay. I just play with it a little bit every once in a while.
Okay. You said the symptom started yesterday.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Okay. And there, when I just closed Explore, we got a similar symptom. Okay. Then I'm going to go into, let's see, update settings. And look at update history. Today is December 22nd. Here's December 21st. These updates were installed. Security update. And now we also, I don't think I've captured it on this video yet, you're getting a lot of Windows Defender messages. That makes me suspect that Windows Defender has trouble right now. And when we go to a folder that contains files, it's highly likely that Windows Defender is trying to look at those files. And so
That
I'm
is
wondering if
a
that's what's going on.
possibility. I've thought about that.
All right.
Can't prove it though.
Yeah. Cumulative. Well, actually, maybe we can,
well,
but let me stick on this
yeah.
for now.
Okay.
This cumulative update. So there's a potential we might want to try uninstalling that cumulative update. Had you already tried that?
No, but let me say this. I may have been looking into, it's called core isolation. Okay.
Okay.
And we could look that up. It won't, it's been this problem of it not turning on. If you type in core isolation, it's just easier to say. I believe it has to do with the older software I used for my headphones, which is from before they changed the law about the loudness of a headphone. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've used it for ever since I built the computer. Okay. And I put this software on many other computers, but for some reason, Windows 10 has a problem with it, at least for this core isolation, which is memory protection. Okay, let me tell you another thing, just because I have you online. When you go and do updates for Intel, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got a notification. It's in the bottom corner in the icons, and it has a little red dot on it. Okay, look at the one that looks like a wrench. It's the one that the icon that looks like a wrench. One more, keep going, right there. Go ahead and pop that open. Hopefully. Or check drivers, yeah. Just that'll do it. It'll go. And now, this Intel Arcs graphics driver. I installed this and I had some weird issues with the way this driver worked. I thought I got it installed, but now another one shows up. So, I don't know whether because of the name, that looks like the same name. And see how it says Intel Arc? Well, when I actually got this thing installed, it installed a bunch of junk from Intel, advertisements about games and what a wonderful company they are and the future of graphics. Look, I don't have a graphics card and I don't have an ARC graphics card. Anyways, I had trouble with it, so I keep avoiding it. My machine was behaving just fine after I uninstalled it. But anyways.
Okay, we're getting distracted.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So since I'm suspecting Windows Defender is having trouble, I'm going to turn off Windows Defender, both firewall and both on the private section and public. Then we're going to go see if that makes a difference to maneuvering through those folders.
Good idea.
This way and go to, let's see, we were looking at, there it is again. That was the blink, even though we weren't in Defender. Now this has been happening so far only in conjunction with File Explorer. Has it happened with other programs when File Explorer is not open?
I don't believe so. It's only when you try to click on a file.
Okay.
A file or a folder.
Okay.
We could go to the external drive as an idea that I had. You see the icon that looks like you were just at the Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay. Next to it, you see the little Windows desk. There you go. Pop that open. All right. Now, the Toshiba 4 terabyte drive.
Yeah.
Let's see if what happens if we go to an external source? Okay.
Can I go in this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, single click, no hour. Oh, there's an hourglass.
Yep, it's still doing it.
Yeah, because this is still File Explorer. That
Okay.
icon down at the bottom here is just showing, I guess it's an icon for
It's
your.
just another
Oh,
pathway.
it's
It's
this
quicker for me
PC.
to go there.
Okay,
Yeah, it's this
this
PC.
PC. I get it.
And I find it faster to get where I'm going.
Okay, sure.
All right, go.
So we have
Go.
disabled. The next
Disabled the
thing,
firewall.
yeah, we're going to go ahead and re-enable that because that did not make a difference. And then I want to go do a couple of Google searches.
Okay.
Let's see, here's Defender. Get over to there and turn Windows Defender on or off, and then turn both of these on. That made no difference to us. Okay, then here's Google. Here's your Chrome browser. Okay. File Explorer. Links out. Links off. Looking for what other searches had off and on. It did do off and on.
Yep, I believe I tried that one, but go ahead. You'll find some weird stuff.
The software compatibility issue, display driver issue. Now, you also have had recent display driver.
Yes, that was that Intel Arc.
Uh-huh. And this is Dell. You have a custom build computer, right?
Yes, mine's an Asus motherboard. It's Asus 5 something, 590.
Okay, that's enough. Well, let's explore flashing. I don't think flashing is a fair description of what it's doing.
Nope.
Okay. So I'm not seeing anything here that is on target well enough for me to be interested in pursuing. The thing
Same here.
The thing that is most intriguing to me is uninstalling the recent update because it happened, this problem occurred to you after those updates.
Well, I don't know. I would suspect, look, you turn the machine on in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And, Microsoft, they're working in the background. So if you want to uninstall it, I've got no problem. But the exact timing, it would have to have been done in the background. It's possible that I did go manually sometime in the afternoon, after figuring out something's goofy.
Okay.
Let me try it. Let me try an update, that kind of a thing. So it's totally up to you. I ain't worried.
This is showing that an update was, let's see, security update 12/21, cumulative update 12/20, which was the third Tuesday of the week. And this was the December cumulative update. So most people would have gotten that update prior to the 20th. But you just got it 2 days ago, according to this, and this symptom showed up yesterday. So that's a very high suspect. It's easy to reinstall it after we uninstall it. Now there's another piece on my mind too. Oh, that was a clean boot. So let's see what is on your startup tab. So we have an idea of how much that is. I see some of these are enabled, some are disabled. So I'm going to click on the status column heading so we can see it easier. Enabled, this many items enabled, and then disabled is, it seems like it's almost somewhere around half are disabled already.
Things that aren't necessary. All those things will start up if you click the icon. Okay.
Yeah,
You're
sure,
just
sure. I'm
okay, you know.
not questioning that
No, I know
that's
you
the way
need
it
to
is.
look
Yeah.
at what's going
I
on.
just want to be aware.
Yep.
So the easier thing for us to do is to uninstall this update, because to disable those items, we have to do them one by one.
Okay.
So this update there was only one on December 20th, and the KB number ends in 1233. So it's this one right here. So click on that and then click uninstall. Are you sure you want to uninstall this update? Now, when your computer reboots at the end of this, the remote connection will automatically restart, but the Zoom session will not. So if you get to the mouse before I do, just go ahead and restart the Zoom session.
So I'll get some kind of a flag or something on the screen.
Well, it's when it finishes its uninstall, it'll prompt us for restarting the computer. So we'll click to restart the computer. We'll lose the Zoom connection at that time and the remote connection, but the remote connection will come back automatically.
Okay.
You'll have to.
Does log me in have a function that says reboot on your end rather than pushing my button for reboot?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
I can issue a restart command from this side, but it functions exactly the same.
All right.
Okay. Now you're not gonna push a physical power button to restart it.
No.
You'll just click on the
no.
button to restart. Yeah.
Oh, that's a reason. Yeah.
Okay, so here it is. You must restart your computer to apply these changes. So we'll click restart now. And he can't hear me anymore. 2 apps open. Should I? No, we'll restart anyway, because one of those is the Zoom session, one's the remote connection. Yeah, I'm not sure that it could have been a browser, but there was nothing at risk. There was no unsaved data that we would have been concerned about. I get an indication up here that he's rebooting. It's been in this reboot cycle for 19 seconds now. So clearly it seems to be connected to File Explorer or display, because the display is also what's happening. But it's not just the display going off and on. If that were the case, then File Explorer would still be open. So File Explorer has crashed, and it feels like the computer is doing a graphics driver reset. And he doesn't have a graphics card, but he has a graphics driver for his integrated Intel graphics. It's built into the CPU. We're at 1 minute 17. Uninstalling an update could be a longer restart than just a normal restart. All right, there is finished. It's on the startup cycle here, 12 seconds now. I'll click remote control session. It's typing a message. What's he saying? I think I am here. Yes, you are. Join Zoom session again. I'm looking at something over here on another screen. I did a search for Windows Explorer not working after update. Here's File Explorer, fix File Explorer if it won't open or start. It does open, it doesn't stay open. This looks pretty generic. To open File Explorer, yeah, nothing there of significance. It stopped working. We're not getting a message that Windows Explorer has stopped working. Windows Explorer and File Explorer will use those terms synonymous. Good is saying getting files ready. Oh, I just got an email from him. Has he joined? He hasn't joined the Zoom session. Well, I guess there he goes. Is he going? Yeah, he's gone back to grab the email that has the link for the Zoom session. He's hunting around for the email. There, he's got it. Yeah, let's go capture these errors. Multiple images, but then he still gets into Zoom. So we'll join without video. And join with computer audio.
Okay, looks like I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, so we just have to click through all those defender messages and it eventually works.
For some reason, what's it called? Thunderbird is acting goofy. Something's not right there, but let's not get off track. I'll work on that later.
You're knowing me. You're learning me better. Let's stick to this.
No, I know exactly.
Okay.
You know, when you're trying to repair something and you have a lot of thoughts in your mind, and the customer, which is me, is talking in your ear. Anyways, I'd rather have you, honestly, Doug, also, you said something the other day that I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but I do my best work for my customers if they allow me to take the computer home. Oh, I think it had to do with Jim, how Jim's just fix it and charge them and move on as fast as, he's not. Anyways, you know as well as I do, sometimes when you're repairing a computer, you will find other things that need attention. And I tell them, if you allow me to take it home, I'm going to fix a few other things that I saw, that kind of a thing. Anyways.
Yeah, I got you. Now, we're still having the same problem. So that did not solve File Explorer, but we'll leave that update uninstalled for now because it's not critical that we have it. So now let's turn our attention to the display driver. Now, so this symptom started yesterday. Are 100% positive it started yesterday, or is that a...
Well, it was in the morning of either yesterday or the day before.
Good enough. Good enough.
Okay.
Good enough. And this is integrated graphics, integrated in your CPU. Then let's go look at AppWiz again. Do we have Intel items installed
Yes,
here?
you see that
yeah.
ARC? Yep.
Yeah, ARC. And that was installed December 10th. This one, well, it could have been installed or updated that date. Intel Driver Support Assistant. So you've already told me once about some things that were going on with the Intel
ARC
graphics
control.
driver. ARC control. That's the one that keeps trying, still wanting you to install it, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
the one that looks like a wrench.
So Intel ARC control, December 10th. Is this a new a name on your computer? Does it just recently become something that's available, or do you know if you've had this previously and that this has recently been an update?
Yeah, because they use the same terminology, and I don't see the software numbers. Okay, there's no numbers.
All right.
Go ahead and read it. It's interesting.
Yeah, let me read it here. Installing this graphic driver from Intel may remove customizations from your computer manufacturer. If newer graphics driver is available from ASUS, we recommend you install that driver instead. So this is not...
I've done it.
You've done it?
Okay. Yeah, I tried both ways. Yes, in the ASUS has some software to make things easier. And I know the number if I've seen it. It's like 30190. Anyways, I'll recognize it if I see it.
Okay. If you have a 6th generation Intel processor or higher, your computer manufacturer's customizations will remain intact after upgrading to this graphics driver. To identify your Intel processor generation, use how to yada, yada, yada.
Intel i7 11700K. So it's 11th generation that I have.
Okay. All right. It's all about customizations. How about uninstalling this ARC driver completely? Have you tried that?
I don't recall, but I may have, but don't hold me to that. Go ahead if you want to.
That's what I'd like to do. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I feel attracted to that, and see if we can even just make a difference and make some kind of an effect or impact on the symptom, even if it doesn't make it go away. Could make it go away. So you've had that message from the Intel updater wanting you to install that ARC driver, and you have installed it. I think you said multiple times, and it still prompts you for it.
About a week ago.
Okay.
I think it was back maybe on the 12th.
All right. So it's gone from this list. We haven't restarted the computer. It didn't tell us we have to restart the computer. I'm just opening File Explorer, and there's an hourglass. I think that's the symptom. Then what else on Intel? Going right past it. Chipset, wireless Bluetooth, driver and support assistant, management engine components. None of those are specifically display.
Right.
Agreed?
And I did Bluetooth yesterday, and I did the other one, the chipset. I believe those were done yesterday. No change. No change. And everything works as far as I know.
What you mean by doing them is updated them?
Yes, I updated them.
Okay. Now let's go take a look at Device Manager. Display adapters. Now this, I don't think changed at all by virtue of uninstalling that ARC. This is showing driver tab, driver date, July 21. update from here. Let it search automatically. Already installed. As expected. Okay. Let's take a look at Event Viewer. In the last hour, we've had no criticals, but we've had 636 errors in the last hour. That's pretty huge. Now, don't worry too much about.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Having errors, but
I'm thinking maybe it is quite a bit. Looks like the kernel is crashing while it's doing those file checks, and maybe every time you click it, there's multiple times that it looks like I saw 2 and 3. See the 2? Oh, that's event IDs. Okay.
Yeah. So now let's scroll down through there. There's a wide variety of, well, those aren't all within the last hour though. This 636, double click on that, and that just closes it. And scroll down here, and these are, oh, there was a 400 number there. There, disk system, 412 in the last hour. Device has a bad block. Do you recognize from that which disk this is on your computer?
I'm just suspect disk 0 should be my 2 terabyte Samsung drive.
Is that your boot drive?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Well, when we have File Explorer open, it is accessing the drive. If it's finding a problem there, such as this bad block, it's throwing this error message. Look at these times.
Yeah,
there are multiple times within the same second. So let's see if we can generate a new one. Those are event ID 7. So let's go into system log and filter current log for event ID 7. Slide this window down so we can see more of that. We could, let's see. We can do the scan disk and fix errors, and that's going to do a reboot.
Doug, I did that stuff yesterday. I tried to illustrate that. You know, what I was trying to tell you was some of the documentation I find, and oftentimes I will compare it multiple times. In Windows 10, there's something odd. They want you to use the DISM first, and they want you to do like CheckHealth. Then they want you to run ScanHealth. If ScanHealth finds something, then you move on to RestoreHealth. And I did that. And guess what? Both of the scan and restore did find errors. Okay.
Yeah.
But it fixed them. And the instructions also say to run it again until everything is clear, because sometimes you need a couple of times for the RestoreHealth to do its thing, I guess. But that was a notation in there. So anyways, it came up clear. Then the next step was to run SFC.
Okay, let me stop you there. I'm familiar with what you're describing. And
I know you are.
I'm suspecting when you say they say to do them in this order, who's they you're referring to?
The documentation that I looked up online.
Yeah, okay. But whose documentation?
I believe I knew. You guys always get down to this. That's why I compare multiple. I believe they were reliable. I don't want to use the name Microsoft, but I you know, if you do a quick search, you might even find the same thing, DSIM
Oh, sure.
command.
There's lots of sources that will say this is the way to do it. That's that person's opinion. It
Right.
doesn't
I
mean
know.
we have to do that. Now,
I agree.
what
Totally.
I'm
Windows
what I,
7. Yeah, okay.
what I'm
Anyways,
what I'm suspecting is that you may have a drive that is
going,
actively finding
going.
more problems.
I
Because
wonder
here,
if it's going bad, which would be
yeah.
odd.
And now let's make sure we're
Oh,
identifying the right drive.
okay.
Here's your list of drives. So you have
Disk 0
there's
is,
a 2 terabyte and a 4 terabyte, right?
yep.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna postpone that call. Now, so this one is
Disk
hard
0
disk
is my
0.
boot drive with
How do
Windows
you?
on it.
Okay. Hard disk 0 slash DR0. Let's look at this in. Well, I'm about to go do this at a DOS level, but these designators out here don't match with this hard disk 0. I do think you're right, but I want to see more of a confirmation of that. So I'm going to go to a command prompt, run as administrator, answer yes, and then it is disk part. I want to see the numbers in here. List disks, I think it is, or list disk, yeah, not plural. Disk 0 is a 2 terabyte drive. And that's what you're saying is your boot drive, right?
Yep.
Okay, 2 terabytes. So this one right here. Now this says healthy. I think I noticed you have some crystal disk. Do you have crystal disk info already?
Yes, it is on the side along with Crystal Disk Mark. It's one of the programs. I don't want to. No, there's probably it'd be best to use the pop up the windows. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And under C,
Okay.
I also believe I have the Samsung software for checking the drive.
Okay, so it's a 2 terabyte SSD.
It says it's good.
Oh, but let's see. No, that is C drive. All three of these are saying that they're good here. So, but we are getting bad block reports in Event Viewer. There's no denying that. There's no denying that, but could there be something misleading or inaccurate about it?
Yeah, would a block error? What if? Oh, that's a tough one.
Was a bad block.
What
Wouldn't
if?
you would expect that would show up in Crystal Disk Info, but that would only, Crystal Disk Info is only telling us what the drive is reporting to it.
Yes.
Windows is reporting there's a bad block on that drive. Do we believe that to be an accurate report? Seems like it.
Well, according to check disk, it finds no errors. And I did the check disk where it reboots, and goes to, what is it, the old,
okay.
Yeah,
good.
It did that process.
Good.
Didn't find any problems.
Okay.
So that kind of leads me to believe there needs to be more of an explanation of how those block errors are determined. What if Windows itself gets scrambled and it's reading bad bits? I don't know. I just don't know.
Please. Event Viewer. I unintentionally closed that previously. What did we say that was? Number 11? But there's there were some others in here too, though.
Oh,
in
yes.
The last hour. That was just the 400 number. 432 is event 7. I'm going to make a note of that ID number and see what else we have that is showing high numbers, because I think there was something else that was high.
And why And
there.
why wouldn't the trim command, that it's supposed to auto, when blocks go bad, which apparently they do, right, from our
Yeah.
teaching, trim is supposed to pick the data up and move it to a suitable block.
But it seems to me that the drive is not aware that these are bad blocks because it's
Yeah.
reporting it's in good condition.
So
Windows is reporting
yeah.
issues. Now this one 1000 has 18 instances in the last hour, which isn't nearly as high, but if they are, one thing is triggering another, it might be some form of clue. .NET runtime. Let's see, let's take 1026, 1030.
I think Windows is scrambled.
How much of a disaster would it be for you to
A
wipe
big
and
one.
reload? A big one. All right.
Yeah, Doug, and I really, honestly, I spent so much. I'm probably your most viewed as a single person when you talked about Macrium Reflect
Yeah.
and I asked you questions. I do have a backup that I did the full backup. This was quite a while ago. I may use that after going through and manually gathering all my files. Okay. And then redoing it. That was kind of the road that I was tinkering with today.
Okay.
But
So that,
I
but that'll
also,
give you a head start for
but
rebuilding, so you don't have to
yeah,
reinstall
you know,
everything.
yeah, if I were to say something to the group, I think this kind of all this exploration, you're trying to do everything but rebuild the machine, is possibly a good example of something where, you know what, this is where you just have to either do a reset, it saves the files, the automatic reset, you know, and cut your losses kind of a thing. Um, I have run into numerous times where I spend insane amount of hours, and Jim would tinker around, try to fix it, and then just, what, I'm just going to reset it, and because I'm losing money.
Yeah, well, he's told us his limit is 1 hour
Okay.
that he'll work on trying to solve it. If he doesn't have it solved then it's wipe and reload time.
And he's, you know, he's great. I have no issues. Well, can I tell you something? This has been
Or
going on. I need kind of your, I know you're thinking,
don't
but
make
just
don't
listen to
make
me.
me don't make me edit out from the video. This
Oh,
is being
okay.
recorded.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Jim is a technician, and I always enjoy his input because he presents a different point of view for doing a repair.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
We
good.
all kind of are hobbyists. And the other day you used the term curiosity. Your curiosity, when you see a repair, you want to dig deeper, like you're doing with me right now.
Mhm.
Okay. Your curiosity hopefully will gain you knowledge that if you have to tackle something like this, you have the experience rather than having a short period of time for the repair, have a cutoff date, cutoff time, and reformat and do whatever, start all over or do that reset. So it's clearly a different method, and his is probably smarter as a businessman.
Yes. No,
Undoubtedly.
no hesitation over that.
Yep.
So we do have more specific information in here. This bad block was not very specific for us at all. Coming back up to the top here, the IO operation, input-output operation, at logical block address 0x0 for disk 2. device such and such failed due to hardware error. So disk 2 is a different disk.
Yeah, that might be the 4 terabyte drive. Oh, it's
Yeah,
possible.
I think that's what it is. I think that is.
It's also possible that it is I think it's drive K, which is got my virtual machines on it.
Yeah,
What
here's
size is it? 230? Yeah.
238 gigabytes.
Yeah, that is my drive that I use for virtual machines. It has Windows 11 on it.
This one also says disk 2. Okay. Can you disconnect all of the drives except for the boot drive and we reboot? Well, of course, you shut the computer down to disconnect those.
No, I believe okay, I'm going to disconnect. Let's do it properly. Can we go to the drives? If you give me the mouse for a sec.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me go over here.
External drive.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll click on this one. And hopefully we find an eject, which I hate it when it doesn't do that. Okay, let's go to this Toshiba. It's not doing it. Thanks.
How about
right?
Try the left.
Yeah.
Try the left panel.
The left panel?
Let me on the mouse.
Okay. Oh,
over here,
okay.
Over here. See if it's over there. I always use the notification area icon. So.
Oh, then my last choice is the, see if there's a drive icon. It's going to blink.
Yeah. So are both of those drives external?
Yes, through USB.
This is only showing that the K drive.
Yeah, that's funny.
And that's the virtual drive. So that's not a physical disk, right?
No, that is that's what I called it. You see the K drive? That is a SSD hooked up to USB.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay. Virtual drive is just what you named the drive.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So we'll eject that from here. The device is currently in use. So let's close File Explorer. And I'll go ahead and close everything that's opened. Let's see. We got that.
Oh, it could be, that we were accessing it through device manager or whatever that was, disk management.
Crystal Disk Info as well.
Yeah.
Then that was your email. That's Zoom. That's Chrome. Okay. Now let's try this. In use. Well, it might be if that is misbehaving, it might not eject properly anyway.
I did unplug the SSD for my virtual machines as part of trying to figure things out, but I did not turn off the drive, the 4 terabyte drive, because it is inside my machine. It's hooked up through SATA. Okay,
yeah,
it's a SATA connection.
That's not the boot drive though, right?
Yeah, the boot drive is 0.
Okay, so I would want you to shut the computer down and disconnect that 4 terabyte drive as well. But if we get, unless we get good results before doing that. But this is not properly ejecting. So the next thing we could do is just unplug it, or we restart the computer and you disconnect it during the restart. What's your pleasure?
So the USB drive, I can just unplug it. Okay. Sure. The K drive, but believe it's D, the 4 terabyte, that is inside my case and is SATA connected.
But we're going to start with that drive that's connected by USB.
All right. Well, you know what? I just turned it off. Okay,
Okay.
because I didn't access it. And
Okay.
if it gets scrambled, it gets scrambled. That's just virtual machines.
Okay. So you turned it off. You turned the power
Yep.
switch off on it. Could you go
Yep.
ahead and disconnect the USB cable as well, please?
Okay, let me do that.
And that's just
Yep. Yep.
caution.
Yep. Yep. Nope. Nope. That's the proper thing to do.
And I
Oh,
don't think we,
did you hear a little tinkle?
no.
It tinkled on my side when I unplugged the USB.
Okay. You got the Windows chime when you disconnect a
Yeah.
USB. Okay. So that meant it still was,
Yeah, I guess it was still communicating
still
to
had a
some,
communication going on.
yeah.
All right. So we still have the symptoms. So the next thing that I'm wanting you to do is to shut the computer down, disconnect that 4 terabyte drive, and then start it up and get back in session. Is that feasible?
Okay, to do that procedure, um, 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 um. When I restart the machine, what's going to happen? I, I should be a better technician. Uh,
Well,
what?
you will, well, we won't do a restart. What we'll do is a shutdown.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not going to do it right now, but we'll shut it down by using this method of shutting down. And then you'll disconnect the power cable and the signal cable from that 4 terabyte drive. Then start the computer back up and join the Zoom session and launch the remote control. The remote control I don't think will restart itself by doing a shutdown. It might.
So do I have to go to my email?
Yeah, you would have to go to the email to get to the Zoom session, but the DougBetts remote icon should be on your desktop.
Okay.
So
All right.
let's see where it is. Where is it?
Okay.
There it is. It's in the upper left corner. See that?
Oh, just a sec. I've got access to the drive. It will only take me 30 seconds or so after it. Okay, what am I supposed to see on the screen?
In the upper left, the DougBetts remote on the upper left.
Yes, I see it.
You establish the remote connection.
Okay, I see it.
Okay. So now let me ask you another question. Do you have any other USB devices connected to the computer?
Yeah, I guess. I will unplug everything.
Yeah, that's it's best to unplug everything that's not needed
but the keyboard
for this purpose. Yeah, keep their keyboard and mouse. Any other USB connections, disconnect them. So any printers, cameras, anything else.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Bye or reboot, whatever you're going to do. No, you're going to turn off.
So we'll do shut down now, and let's see. So we have the Zoom open. I'm going to close Google Chrome so we get less of those messages. I'm going to close your email. So at that point, all we have open is Zoom and the Log Me and Rescue. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do shutdown, not restart. Okay, see you in a few. Bye.
Okay.
Alrighty then. I'm going to pause the recording. That's what I'll do. Are you there? LonnDawg connecting to audio, I see.
Okay.
There
Can
you
hear
are.
me at all?
Yes,
okay.
I can. So the computer has restarted, correct?
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, the remote connection did not come back. So I'm going to end the prior connection, and you'll launch that icon in the upper left corner of your screen to reestablish the remote.
The remote connection?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to stay here, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're staying on Zoom.
Okay.
You're going to click on that DougBetts remote icon in the upper left corner of your
I'm
screen.
clicking on it. I'm going to try open, and whether something is happening in the background, let me get rid of this stuff and see what I can see. Okay, you're in the background for log me in rescue, the text. Are you there?
No,
Okay.
no, the connection hasn't been made yet.
Uh-oh. For log me in,
Or log me in.
connecting. Okay, it says connecting.
Okay.
I got
There might be a user account control message that you have to click on.
don't see one, but let me check the icons. No. I'll cancel it and try it again. Okay, I'll say stop. Okay, DougBetts, open.
Are you still connected to the internet? You're using a Wi-Fi connection. You didn't disconnect your Wi-Fi
No,
adapter.
it's
Okay.
built into the machine, and obviously I see
Okay.
you on screen and we're communicating.
Oh, that's right. That's right, through Zoom.
Okay, I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna move let's see here. It's acting funny. Can I say run as administrator? I'm the boss.
You can share your screen in Zoom.
It says share screen is green. Do you want me to push that button?
Yes.
Okay, I will share screen. There we go, I think. Okay, what's it saying? Oh, it says share. Okay, okay. Screen one. Okay. All right.
There we go. All right. Well, that DougBetts remote icon that was in the upper left corner is, oh, it's dragged down here a little bit. Okay, I see it there. So go ahead and double click on that icon.
I will try. That's my cursor.
Yep.
It's kind of doing nothing.
All right. Try Alt Tab.
Alt. Okay.
Alt Tab to
Alt
show us
tab.
what windows you have open.
Alt tab.
Keep them pressed. Okay, so DougBetts remote is not running anywhere. Meeting controls, that's Zoom. Okay, let go of the Alt. And minimize the Zoom window. And then single left click on DougBetts remote. And then press the Enter key on your keyboard.
I got a flash of the little hourglass.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. We did not do a minimal start. What is missing? Press Control Shift Escape to bring up Task Manager.
Do you want me to do that?
Yep, I don't have controls. You're
okay.
only sharing your screen visually with me through Zoom. I can't do
Control
anything.
Shift Escape didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure my keyboard light is on.
You have other monitors.
Okay. Let me.
Is it showing up on another monitor?
That's one possibility. I was tinkering with another machine this morning, so let's try HDMI 2. And okay. Yep, it just popped up. No, it's clear.
Okay. Do you only have one monitor connected to the computer right now? Because I thought you told me
I have
earlier
two
that you
monitors.
have two monitors. Okay, you have two monitors. Okay. So Control Shift Escape did not bring up Task Manager for you?
Control Shift Escape. There it goes.
Right. Ah, there we go. Oh, we got it.
Sorry, I think I didn't do the key combination right.
Okay, click on the Processes tab at the top left.
Processes. Okay. Processes.
Top left.
Process.
Processes tab. Okay.
Doug, I know. Boy, see, this is why I don't work so good under pressure.
I understand
Seriously,
that. I
I
understand that.
I told my customers this all the time. You really want me to do my best work? You either got to leave me alone. I found a nice way to say it, or let me take it home. Okay.
Okay.
Most of my customers complied. They just know me.
Okay. Scroll down
Yeah.
to log me in the background processes. They're in alphabetical order. Scroll down to the L's. Let's see if there's any log me in components there. Okay. There's Logitech. No log me in. Okay. Let's go down to the next section because there's another section below this.
By the way, you see all those Microsoft Edge?
Yeah.
Look at that. I was tinkering with that this morning, trying to figure out what the heck. Okay. Try me menu.
Keep going down. Keep going down. Now,
okay.
This down here, Windows processes. Is there anything in there for log me in? No. Okay. Let's restart the computer again. Close Task Manager with the X in the upper right. And yeah, power and then restart. Not shut down, restart. Pausing the recording again.
Screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, let's put the share.
Okay, minimize the browser.
Okay. What just happened there? Let me think. Oh, it says here the session is terminated according to the log me in rescue.
Yes, and I think that's the reason why we had trouble last time is because I did not end the session before you started the computer. I ended the session after you restarted the computer and I realized that the connection was not going to come back live. So when I ended this session on my side, your computer subsequently needed a restart. So go click on the DougBetts remote in the upper left corner and see if it'll work now.
Okay,
yes, so you can close that. You can X out of that.
Okay. Come on. There we go. Mm-hmm. Now DougBetts.
Yep. There we go. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, on a restart, the connection will come back, but on a shutdown and then power on, the connection will look to me like it's going to come back, but then it doesn't.
Yep, so, it sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
There are some things left live, let's put it that way, or a file that is still active versus a shutdown, which in my case, by the way, because I turned off, what is it, quick boot? That whole subject just tears me up. Okay, user account control. I do not understand why Microsoft, I mean, I understand, but doggone it, they ought to turn off that quick boot. It's more of a problem than it is helpful. Okay, view. I don't know if you're hearing me mumble.
Yes. Okay.
Edit. So do some editing.
Now I'm clicking on the stop share button here. So we stop sharing through Zoom because we don't need that anymore. And then I'm minimizing that Zoom window and then drag that image down to the bottom left or bottom right. And then I'm going to stretch your image to fill my monitor and then minimize this one. Those now.
The only thing plugged in now that is USB operated is the keyboard and this this headset. If I use the built-in audio,
Yeah.
I will have to like mute. I have to mute before I speak. Otherwise, if you're talking, it'll come through, whatever. Anyways,
Go back to system and filter the current log.
oh, and there's a mouse hooked up.
Putting those same codes in that we were looking at before. There's only one of them we really seem to be getting a lot of, that event ID 7. Make this bigger. I'm going to click the date and time column heading to sort them in descending order. By default, they show up in descending order, but I found that that isn't perfect.
Yeah.
So we actually force it to sort, then we get a better, more reliable result. And then I'll open File Explorer. That last one was 1228. Drag this down a little bit. That's not the one I want to drag down.
We just had a blinky blink.
Yeah, we did. And did we get a new date time? 1234. That's 1228. I don't see a new one. Again. Windows key E to launch Explorer. You can't even drag it down. Previously, we were getting new entries here. Oh, and these were all Hyper-V. Which
is a little weird.
You had a drive named virtual drive.
Yeah, I did make one mistake. There was another mechanical hard drive that I use for virtual machines.
Yeah.
That apparently, well, it's off. Its power button is off. Okay. That has the virtual machines that are Hyper-V software. Okay. So VirtualBox is on one drive and Hyper-V is on another. But the Hyper-V I don't use too much. That's where some of my Linux machines are. So I just turn it off. I don't want to wear out the drive.
Well, you turn off the drive, but you still have the your computer configured to allow Hyper-V functionality.
That's true.
So your computer still has components running related to Hyper-V. So that makes me wonder if there's something going on there.
Well, that would be a surprise since I do use it every once in a while. So, why? Okay. As far as I know.
If you're expecting our results to not be a surprise, I would be surprised at that.
Yes.
So, but let's get back into disk part. I always struggle remembering that one.
I do too.
Because check disk and scan disk and how many different things you're going to give us. Come on.
Yeah, I was going to start a book with all the commands that I tend to use.
So here we confirm there's only one drive connected now. It's the 2 terabyte drive. So that is helpful in the sense that we have eliminated a bunch of potential trouble sources, and we're sort of seeing the same symptom, but not quite, because we're not getting a new error when the symptom occurs. And you may have multiple actual symptoms going on. And I can't even now get File Explorer to stay open long enough to move it to another location. What else could I do there? That's dragged up as far as it can Oh, let's see. If I do this, what if I do this? No, I don't think that is going to help. No, it's not. I'm testing something on my computer about a key stroke combination. Yeah. Oh, okay. Say, I'm getting a start typing window when I do Alt
Yeah.
spacebar. That's weird.
Oh, it could be Power Toys. I'm just making a.
Yeah, could be. You know what? Power Toys is worthy of us shutting down. Do we get an icon out here to shut down Power Toys?
Let me grab the mouse.
You got the mouse.
Okay, settings. There's an exit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah. Today again, when I was removing programs just to eliminate possibilities, that was the next on my list. But again, as part of, I rarely use it, so it's always technically running.
You've just got a C:\/ in the search line. That's going to open File Explorer in another method. Oh, and I got a chance to drag it down. 122841 is the last one that we have. Now, I have not moved the mouse into the file folder area yet. The mouse has only gone down as low as the title bar here. I'm suspecting when I move the mouse down over the drives area, that's when we're going to see the symptom. And when we do that, that's triggering the computer to evaluate the contents of the File Explorer page or window. So I'm going to do this very gradually. I'm going to go to App Data first, highlight App Data, and just sit there for a little bit. Go to Contacts. Stop. Renewing. Now this Intel that looks like a folder icon. Okay, now here when we go down to this PC, get something there. Oh. I haven't clicked on anything. The C drive is highlighted down on the bottom of the left-hand panel. There, that highlighted. Mail.com desktop. What is that? It's in there. LonnDawg, are you still with me?
Yeah, I got a Windows 7 machine next to me and I'm doing some typing.
All right.
My old faithful machine that only has one problem, and that is it takes like 12 minutes to start up. And we talked about this before, but no resolution.
Yeah.
It's just a very tortured copy of Windows 7.
We got all the way down on this panel. So nothing on this left panel, although now I'm going down even further. Nothing here has triggered the hourglass. So what does your crystal ball say when I move the mouse to the right side of the screen in the main body? We're going
I'm
to see the
watching you.
symptom.
I
I think we're going to see the symptom when I move over here. So here we go. Moving around. No trouble yet. Okay. Be that way. There's inconsistent behaviors.
I agree. It's a little inconsistent at times. When you get down to a certain level of files, possibly. Again, this whole thing is weird. They didn't teach me anything like this in school. Smiley face.
Yeah. Empty and create a folder. That works. Right click. Delete the folder. That works. SD is also empty. Traceable. Oops, I'm sorry. Here I'm going clicking around places I haven't been asking you.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything bad,
Okay.
I guess is the word I want to use.
All right. So let's go back to music, I think is where we were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where we
we were
were
in that
really
area.
having trouble. This is where we had consistent trouble. Click. It works. Back. Star Trek works. Video Maker works. Seems like we can get around anywhere we want to go now. And now I came into here. I think this is when I came in using the run command and doing C:/ instead of launching File Explorer. Let's test that a little bit. I'll come down here to the File Explorer icon. Here's File Explorer. Right click on that. Properties. See if there's anything weird or bizarre in the configuration of this shortcut. Okay.
So you used in the run dialog box, you called up the Explorer exe kind of file?
No, all
Oh,
I did
okay.
was type C:/, and then Windows decided how to respond to that command by opening File Explorer for me.
Okay.
Um,
Because I'm already picking up, hopefully. I mean, these are some interesting techniques. I mean, everybody has their methods, but when you see something, that might be something to remember.
that was
I'll pull my hair out if it has something to do with one of the USB devices.
well, when File Explorer is open, it's evaluating any USB drives that are connected.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would make sense. And then also USB devices can show up in the left-hand in File Explorer, even if they are not storage media.
Or something we're directly accessing, because that's kind of all they were, was just there. They were present. Okay. We were
Yeah,
mostly messing around with my C drive, the boot drive,
right.
and the files on it.
But that was only because that's what we chose to mess around with. It could be that we could have
Yep.
gone anywhere else and experienced trouble.
What we did when we went to the mechanical C drive, okay, the 4 terabyte drive,
Yeah.
which is SATA connected to the motherboard.
Now, you said mechanical C drive. So is that your boot drive?
An old spinning. I don't have the money for a 4 terabyte SSD. So I bought
Okay.
a Toshiba 4 terabyte drive to store
Okay.
stuff and backups.
So when you refer to it as a C drive, that was a little misleading to me because when I hear C drive, I think that's your boot drive.
It is. It is. I must have misstated or confused you. Yes, as traditional, my C drive is my boot drive.
Okay.
All right.
And all right.
The and the Toshiba 4 terabyte spinning mechanical hard drive
Yeah.
is used for data storage.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. And that one is disconnected right now.
And it's electrically and connection disconnected.
All right. Well, we seem to be not having the symptom now, but this hasn't been a stable enough symptom for that to really prove anything, has it?
Try going
All
to
right.
and just trying something because at least
Well,
you're
we're
accessing folders.
yeah,
I
we were
don't know if there's
we started with
anything.
this
Yeah,
music.
you could click on one of those.
Okay, now I want to see what this is configured to open with. It's
I
Windows Media Player.
I traditionally use that because I like the look of it,
Okay,
but
there it is.
that was a good one.
That's a workie. All right.
You remember back like 20 years ago when talking computers and uh, you would change the files around. So when you clicked on certain things, uh, you would hear an audio, you'd hear some audio. So anyways, I've had
Okay.
those files for way back in the Windows 7
Okay.
days.
Is this music working?
Yes, I'm hearing it on
All
my
right.
side. It's
Okay.
Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. I don't hear it. That was a good thing because I didn't want to get a copyright hit.
Yeah, that's understandable. Understandable.
So this seems to be working. Um, so the things that we have disconnected since it was failing, since we had trouble, well, since we restarted the computer, let's put it that way, is just that 4 terabyte drive and the drive that you called the virtual drive.
Yeah, which was on USB
Uh-huh.
and it was running. That was the K drive, the
Okay.
240 gigabyte SSD. The other USB external drive was turned off. Okay. And that has my Linux machines on it. But again, it was off. So it shouldn't have showed up. It didn't
Okay.
show up in the
Are
this
there
piece.
are there any printers connected?
Not electrically. No, they're done through Wi-Fi.
Through the network? Okay.
Yeah. And I
All
rarely
right.
use them. I rarely.
All right. So the next thing that I would think to test whether we've really come up with any kind of a solution is to restart the computer and see if it still has no symptom. And then you can you use the computer for a while without reconnecting those other drives to see if it's stable, and then
Oh,
connect them one
yes.
at a, and
Oh,
then you'll
yes,
kick.
absolutely, Doug. Those are just
Yeah,
external projects.
yeah. So then
Absolutely.
you could reconnect them one at a time to see if the symptom returns, but do that on your
I
own.
could actually, okay. I was going to
I
say, because they are USB,
yeah.
you could plug them in, they'll get recognized, and then you
All right.
turn on the power button. These are these are the external type where you can change the drives.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
That's okay. I have
So
so many of those.
there's two of them that we've just disconnected, right?
Yeah. And they
Okay.
both work in the same way. I can
Okay.
change the drives.
Let's go. Let's start with connecting the one that you called the virtual drive,
Okay. On
since
my
we
way. Okay. First off, the USB connection. All right, connected, hopefully in the same place. You know how sometimes it's supposed to be K. I hope it stays that way. If not, I'm a technician. I should be able to fix it. Smiley face. The smiley face is habitual because that's the way I talk to you guys.
So you have that drive connected now?
Yeah, it should show up, I would think.
Oh,
Oh,
you're doing
I've got
okay.
the mouse.
You
Let's see
have the
here.
mouse.
This PC. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, well, this is that. Remember we were doing that scan thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think it's this telling us that drive is
Something's
got a problem. We're just trying to evaluate that drive. You clicked on this PC, so it's trying to show you all the drives that are connected right now. I think it's having trouble with that one.
okay. When it's done, let me know, and I will shut it off and reinsert the disk. Actually, I might just kill it.
This could take long. I've seen these often when it gets up to the right edge, it just sits there forever.
Okay, let's kill it. Yep. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, boy, this goes back to things you learn in school. They tell you to strip the machine down to its bare bones and start from there. Okay, now I unplugged the SSD. I plugged it back in. Okay, now I turned the power back on. And I heard the tinkle tinkle of acknowledgement on my side.
Okay.
And I'm grabbing the mouse. Okay. It's my machine. Okay. See, the K drive is now there. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Let me just take a look in there. It's got my VMs. I think this is a lie. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I was trying Windows in the Hyper-V. Oh yeah, I don't like Hyper-V for Windows 11 because of the PPM problem. Anyways, another issue. Supposedly they did an update. VirtualBox works much better and easier. Okay, so well, let's go into the drive. Boy, I wonder if that was just hung up. Why? Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
There it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take that drive out of the equation and try it again.
Yep. I'm on my way. To some degree over the years, I've learned that those USB devices, the actual electronics part, they get messed up too.
Sure.
But what can you expect coming from our friends overseas? Okay, so LonnDawg. Nope, there it is. Unless it requires, okay, wait. One more thing we can do is physically disconnect them.
Oh yeah, because definitely physically disconnect the USB cable.
Which makes me start to think something like USB port. Come on,
or even the cable.
Oh yes, in my collection over the years, I have 2 intermittent USB cables, and they are gravely identified. They are, because they're so bizarre. They work and don't work. All right. Anyways. And when I was in class, the teacher had a special video cable that was very intermittent. And part of, there it goes. Other than requiring a reboot.
Now, but the first time that we got good performance It did fail once after disconnecting before we had stable performance. So there, you disconnected it, you turn it off, you disconnected the USB cable, you got an instance after disconnecting the USB cable of the symptom. Here's another symptom. So your last suggestion is spot on, is we restart with nothing connected and see if we get a stable performance, because it could be enough to just connect that device and needs a reboot to clear that out. Or possibly there's something we might be able to end task on, but let's go ahead and restart. And as soon as we hit this, we lose communications again. So there you go. Go ahead and click it.
Okay. Yeah, because we are possibly dealing with drivers, and drivers get restarted at the kernel level.
When when you connected the drive, the driver loaded. So restart without the drive present. And I'm going to pause the recording again. Okay.
Okay, looks like what kind of memory do they call it? Where you learn things by doing it over and over. Repetitious.
Muscle memory?
Yeah, that's the word.
Muscle memory? Yeah, all right.
So sorry for editing, or let's say video editing purposes. That reboot, my finger twitched on that last reboot.
Well, we intended to reboot.
You just completed your sentence and then the twitch happened.
Oh, well, that's okay, because that's what I was telling you to do, is go ahead and reboot. So we're fine.
Okay.
Now, so you're doing a share now on Zoom, and the log me in rescue connection did not come back. So I'm going to end it on my side, and then we might be having to do another reconnect, but it's curious to me that it didn't come back. I'm trying to control the mouse. I don't have mouse control. So you can X out to close that. And then, yeah, launch DougBetts remote. In our past experience, we had to restart again before that would function for us. But that was before we disconnected the other drives.
Seems to be not cooperating.
Same problem. All right, well then restart the computer again.
Okay, none of these commands up here for restarting?
None of what commands?
Okay, I'm at the top of the screen. On my side, I've got some of your control panel.
You have some of my control panel. That's for Zoom. That's not for remote connection.
Okay, so there isn't a reboot in there? Okay.
No, because there is no remote connection to your computer. Zoom doesn't have any controls over your computer.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, restarting.
Yep. Pausing recording again. All right.
Okay, I think we're back, but guess what? On the way, that the log me in was not activating.
Well, that's okay. We have, well, now wait a minute. So you've already tried it before doing the Zoom connection?
Yeah. Does that cause a problem?
Well, it's just that I couldn't capture it. I didn't get to capture on video that it's failing to launch. So when you click on DougBetts remote, that's failing?
Yeah. So I'm going to click on it right now. Yeah, it's failing to start. Okay. I see that comes out for a second. what do you call it? The hourglass.
Yeah. Well, let's go check on the File Explorer symptom because
Okay.
we can get along without the remote connection here for a
Okay.
bit.
I want to go, let's see here.
No, you got an
Oh, it's going to
hourglass.
do it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to say to me that it's not that drive, and we clearly have a bit of an intermittent situation going on here because it was failing every time I was doing File Explorer for a while. And then we disconnected all your drives and we got good behavior for a while. We reconnected the one that you call virtual drive, and then the symptom came back. Since disconnecting that drive and shutting that drive off and disconnecting the USB cable, we've restarted the computer and we have seen the symptom at least once. Let's go ahead and demonstrate the symptom one more.
Okay. I'll follow my normal pattern. Okay. C drive. Go to users. I'll hang here for a second. No issues. Go on my account.
There's the symptom.
There.
Okay. So what's showing up on that screen was the profile for your username. Okay, go in again and go. Actually, don't do it from the icon on the desktop. Let's do Windows key R and then C://
C:/. Is it
backslash?
Is that
no, the other one.
That's what I was wondering. I always get them confused.
Okay. And click OK or press the Enter key.
Okay.
Now start poking around.
Want to wait a second, I guess.
Let's go to public. Let's go to public.
Ah, okay.
There it is.
And I still see a remnants of Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Well, we only shut that down. We didn't prevent it from launching.
Well, I uninstalled Pro Tools yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So as with many uninstalled tools built into the software, they're not very thorough. And they always leave little trails of their existence.
Pro Tools. Okay, that's not the one. That's not. There was another Windows Tools something or other in your system tray that we shut down manually.
Something Toys.
Something Power Toys.
Power Toys.
Power Toys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's started up again. Do you want to exit?
Do settings. Go to settings and disable it from starting up.
Okay, that's a good idea. It should be in here.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. Down lower. Run it, start it.
There it is.
Yeah. So turn that off. Then close.
Red X.
Yeah. Okay. Now how about we turn off some other startup items too? Are you game for that?
Sure. Hey.
Yep. Task Manager, Startup tab.
Oh, I pushed the wrong one. Startup.
Now, you're going to want to know which ones you have. I would suggest that you take a photo with your cell phone. These are sorted still by the status column. So the ones that are enabled are showing at the top part of the screen. If you take a picture of your cell phone, you'll be able to re-enable the ones that you want later.
Oh, I'm going to do it because it's a good suggestion, but I'm not scared. I can always go back there. This is not a mystery to me what goes on here. Okay, getting I don't even know. Even it's funny. A lot of the words aren't even going to probably show up. Okay, picture done. Yeah, nothing in here mysterious to my knowledge.
All right. So I'm just looking through those to see if there's anything we don't want to disable. My default is typically to go disable everything and see if the symptom's gone. If the symptom's exactly the same, then go back and re-enable all that stuff because it's not the source of your trouble.
And I'm going to go to you're seeing it. Okay. Macrium is disabled.
Yeah.
Okay, going up the list. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that does, but
that's the tray menu for that program, whatever that icon is, a symbol for. It's just their tray menu icon, probably.
Right. Let's see if it's here. I know it's Zoom, easy start.
There it is. It's on the top of that window right there. There, that one. Codec, hack, tray menu.
Oh, that's the codecs. Again, when I set up a machine, I add when you have.
Okay, we don't have time to talk about every one of these. Just go disable them.
Okay.
Just go disable them.
It'll disable Windows.
It's up higher.
Okay. Security notification for.
Yeah, it's just notification. Turn it off.
We don't want to get rid of the audio. I don't think we want to get rid of the read.
Correct. Now that registry monitor, yeah, disable that. What's its PixArt imaging?
I was looking at that the other day. Oh, that's something to do with a ProArt. I started to look that up.
PixArt.
PixArt, yeah.
It's don't have time to talk about it. Just go disable it. Okay. Disable it.
Okay.
Absent status monitor, definitely. And gaming framework, yeah, disable it.
I think that will kill the mouse. Possibly. I have a Logitech mouse.
Well, but that's just gaming.
Okay.
My mouse doesn't.
Mouse is still working.
Mouse doesn't need an application.
Okay. Logitech. Okay, that's disabled. That's disabled.
Skip Realtek.
Okay.
No. I said skip it. Don't do it.
Enable. Because I was going to say I don't think it killed the audio, but anyways, okay.
No, it didn't. Okay. Well, this is the startup tab. We're not turning them off now. This prevents them from launching when we restart your computer. None of these disables are taking effect right away.
That's right. Okay. Epson monitor, we can go away with that.
Yeah. Edge you can leave enabled. Epson status disable.
Even though Edge is coming out with multiple, did you see that in the?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get rid of this silly monitor.
Your background. Go ahead. Keep going.
You want to do the
Bing wallpaper?
That's their automatic. That's their automatic thing. I've had it for years.
Yeah, I just don't buy that. That's causing a problem. Codec. Okay. Yeah, let's take that. Disable codec. E-reg, nuance. Yeah, disable that.
Dragons, that's for naturally speaking. Yep.
Right.
I know this is a crap. Okay. I think this operates that tool in the bottom for.
Yeah, it's just the tray. You can disable it. Power Automate Desktop, definitely disable that.
Okay. I kind of tinkered with it when I heard you talk about it one day.
Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft.
Now there's Command Center. We can disable that. Now what do we have left? Realtek and Edge and Bing wallpaper. Let's look at the startup impact on those two.
Which is processes.
No. It's already on your screen. It's already on your screen.
Oh.
The last column. It says startup impact. Those are both high. Startup impact. Let's go ahead and disable them. It doesn't really cause us any trouble.
It's not the end of the world.
No. Microsoft Edge, disable that one.
Yep.
Okay, so now the only thing we've left enabled is the audio universal service.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
so let's close this window and restart the computer. And I'll pause the recording again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. It says something about the host. The host has turned off sharing. Let's say here.
Oh, for
Host
Zoom, yeah. Hang on.
disable participant screen
Let me
sharing.
fix that. Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, one more time. All right, share. Join meeting.
Hang on a second.
That
I gotta make.
says, yeah, it's saying sign in.
That's well, that's just the website. We don't need that. Minimize that browser window. You are sharing your screen. I am seeing your screen through Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, then minimize your email. Oh, and then you have a log me and rescue trying to connect. Did you already launch the DougBetts remote?
No, the machine did it this time.
All right. Close
Okay.
that window with the X.
Okay.
Okay, then try launching DougBetts remote.
Is it possible it timed out for some reason?
Well, we ended the remote quite a while ago. I'm surprised that it was trying to. No, actually. Oh, I see what you're saying. This DougBetts remote is not time sensitive. That can stay on a computer for
Okay.
eons. That's not working. Okay, let's do this. Go to Windows key R. Nope, that was Windows key by itself. Hold down Windows key and press R. There you go. appwiz.cpl. There it is. And then DougBetts remote, left click once, and then repair at the top. No, that's fine.
Oh, that's another hidden thing I wouldn't expect.
Okay, so then just go over to your desktop. You can leave that open. Leave that open. Go over to the desktop icon and try launching it.
Nope. No turn
Still
on.
not known. All right. How about uninstall DougBetts remote and we'll go reinstall it.
Come on, machine. Oh, that's weird.
You
Okay.
can use.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Oh, even us pros mess up. Okay.
So then once that uninstalls, you go back to where you downloaded it from my Google Drive or OneDrive, whichever one you used, and reinstall it from there.
Okay, I think it's in my downloads. And one thing about downloads is I don't know if it was a single file, okay, that I renamed. Okay, right here.
Yeah. Okay, so we have just restarted the computer with a whole bunch of startup items disabled. We haven't tested the symptom yet, except that you just went into your downloads folder. Go ahead, continue.
Okay.
Put in your name. Okay, I got a doorbell over here. I'll click to start, right click and start.
Okay, it looks like I have the speech done.
You have the speech what? You have denied
Something's.
Oh. No, it says that last message on that dialog box says you have denied DougBetts permission to control your desktop.
Did I click something in error?
I think perhaps. Just hang on a second. I'm going to click something here and see what we get. Would like to view your desktop and share control. Click OK there. I'm guessing since the default choice was control that it thought you pressed an enter key maybe. Looks like we have it correct now. Yep, and then I'll click to stop sharing. So it's no longer sharing through Zoom. Minimize your Zoom window. Drag your Zoom window down. And then I'm going to stretch to fit window. There we go. Minimize this guy. Now, so you maneuvered through your downloads folder just fine without any trouble. We have been of recent going into your user profile folder and seeing the symptom over and over. So I'm going to go look at some other things. Here I am again. I went clicking to a place that, well, this is your desktop. You're already showing your desktop. Oops, there's this hourglass. But I didn't see it. Oh, there it goes. Blinks away. Okay. So that tells us that all those things that we turned off were not the source of the trouble. Just spitballing here. To prove your hardware is okay.
My next thought was to use, because this is a Samsung drive, okay,
Yep.
they gave me the Magician software. Maybe I believe there is a test procedure for the drive in there. If the drive showed some errors on those blocks, I tend to believe it's something that Windows is doing, but we're not software engineers and we don't know exactly what's going on there.
True.
So,
absolutely.
According to all the tests that Microsoft does, in school, they taught me that Microsoft's disk check is pretty thorough, not perfect, but thorough enough according to Windows specifications, though, and then there's other tools that dig a little deeper.
We're still getting this bad block message in the event viewer. We are getting it, apparently, it appears that we're getting it when the symptom happens. Let's see if we can make that happen again. We got the hourglass already. When I do Windows key E, it just comes up right away. Let's see if I go C:\enter. Drag it down, all right. 128.06. So that last symptom did not generate an error. What I was starting to say is it feasible to do a fresh install on a spare drive and verify that File Explorer works fine. That's 128.06. See, we just had the symptom occur again, and it did not give us a new error. And you said you were using Macrium Reflect. Do you have a recent image backup?
Nothing recent, Doug. Unfortunately, you might look at the date of the install for Macrium Reflect, and it's somewhere around that time. I did like a base install backup. Okay, pretty much no software, nothing like that. Just a minimal start over backup.
Okay, what drive has the image from when you installed Macrium Reflect? Where is
that is the SSD 4 terabyte Toshiba drive, which is unplugged at this time.
Okay, so August 21.
Yeah, so somewhere back in those days,
Here's what I'm thinking there is how about making a fresh image backup as the computer exists now, and then restore that backup from back then and see if it also has the symptom. If it also has the symptom, then that means there's a hardware problem because you didn't have the symptom back then.
Right. Okay. I follow the logic.
Yeah.
I follow the logic.
Yeah. If it works okay, if you restore that backup and it works okay, then that eliminates the drive itself as the source of the trouble.
And then we're back to, again, I think Windows is scrambled, okay? In my small career compared to you and Jim, okay, I have experienced a lot of things ever since Windows 10 came out when it comes to just going goofy.
Sure.
And I wind up doing that, save your files and reinstall Windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if your boot drive actually has a problem, the place that I have discovered that is when I'm trying to reinstall Windows.
Absolutely.
It fails. So
yeah, absolutely.
And it actually also might fail when you're trying to make an image backup.
That too. That has happened to me.
Yeah.
Especially in the days of the mechanical hard drive. If a sector had a problem, it can't copy it. It'll give up. It'll try to read that sector and go, hey, there's crud here. I can't read it.
So if you were to decide that you think it's just a corrupted Windows, you might possibly just do a fresh reinstall without first making an image backup and then discover the problem is actually the drive, and you could have rescued your current state if you had taken the extra step of making an image backup. So I strongly recommend making an image backup before you do a fresh install. But
okay. I don't have a problem with that. That is a safe way to go. Yeah. And could again help us narrow down the specific problem.
Right. Now let's identify I think three different course of actions that you could pursue. One is they all start out with making an image backup of your current drive. Okay. And then restore the image from August 2021, because that's going to be quicker than doing a full rebuild of Windows. At least a full functional rebuild, so that's useful for you. But then the next way would be, after the image backup, do a fresh install of Windows and just see if there's a symptom, not intending even to fully rebuild the system. Now, when you restore the August 2021 image, if it works fine, then you might be tempted to say that, okay, it's a Windows problem, but maybe not. There's still this possibility. You restore the August 2021 and the symptom's not present, let's say. So then you could go back and restore the image that you create today or whenever, and it might be perfectly fine, because just the act of doing an image backup and then restoring it fresh on your drive, it could come back in a better state. I have seen that happen, where you've got a problem, but making an image backup and then restoring that image backup to the same drive, symptom gone.
I would say wow to that. And that's the beauty of you guys like Wintermute, Gary, and Jim. You guys have, your experiences in life, and you just illustrated one that is interesting, that a copied drive, which a clone is supposed to be an exact bit for bit per se copy, and then when you restore it, somehow something gets reset and the problem goes away.
And the explanation for that is, as the backup is happening and as the restore is happening, it's doing, I think, a more thorough job of verifying the content.
Okay.
And if it's having trouble reading a certain spot, it will try again, probably more aggressively than what Windows is doing within the operating system. Because when the operating system gets a glitch, it just gives up and closes Explorer. And
yeah, that's what Windows does. It only tries once, let's just say, and then it crashes. Yeah, I like the logic there, because that is potentially built into the Macrium software to try a couple of times.
Now be sure you have the verify option.
Okay.
Click, because that's not on by default. I'm making notes. When you're going to make your backup image, you click on an advanced button. It's in the bottom left-hand area, and there'll be a checkbox that you want to select for verify image, something to that effect.
Okay. Yep, you're right. I remember such buttons, even with the world-famous Acronis.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the direction we're going. Here's something that might be open for discussion, in a sense that the trim command, if, let's say, the trim command, to my understanding, is supposed to monitor for sectors that have gone bad, okay, or are getting bad, that kind of a thing. It's supposed to be done automatically, but I just looked up how to manually turn on optimize. And basically it says you go to Windows and select, I guess you're selecting the drive, of course, probably in properties, defragment and optimize. So in Windows, let's go here, go to properties, tools, I believe. I don't necessarily see what, okay, right here, optimize and defragment drive.
Now let's read this a little bit. 3 days since last retrim. So you got the word trim there. It's recognizing a solid state drive. So it's not actually going to do a defrag, of course. Scheduled optimization is on. Drives are being analyzed on a scheduled cadence and optimized as needed. Frequency is set for monthly. So if you click on change setting, you could either click on optimize to run it now or change settings.
Right. You know what's funny? Look what it says, the last 3 days. Now, I don't know exactly when this problem occurred. It could have been later in the evening, 3 days ago. I'm only trying to piece together a scenario. I typically just use my computer, for the most part, is to join YouTube, participate with your channels and other people, So I'm viewing YouTube and using Dragons naturally speaking, and just using a web browser and never really accessing any files. I it was retrimmed 3 days ago. Maybe that didn't go well. I don't know. But
Uh,
I do plan on, okay, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say it's marginally possible, but I don't have a lot of, I'm not
Okay.
highly suspect of that.
Yep, I'm stretching it. Uh, uh, but running an optimization, whether we do it today or, after we quit, I don't know how long it would take.
I don't think it takes very long, but
I
I
got
don't
a pretty
have much
fast
experience with it.
computer. We could push it and find out. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, here we go.
You can always do some editing.
It's running
Now,
right now.
this is a Gen 4 Samsung 980 Pro, 2 terabyte.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's
pretty dang
done.
fast.
Yeah. I don't know that that does as thorough of
Yeah.
uh
Again,
I'm dubious to think that it is actually the drive itself, since Crystal Dismart is showing that the drive reports itself is in good health. I'm thinking it's more likely that when the event happens, whatever the event happens is, sometimes Windows is detecting that as a bad block. And when you had the USB drives connected during one of the restarts when we weren't in communication with each other, I was thinking, well, that USB cable could have an internet connection, and when something flakes out, Windows is interpreting that as a bad block, and we had that on reporting that on two different drives. I don't think those are reliable reports. But at this point, with everything that we've been through, what I feel most optimistic about is making a fresh image backup, restoring the backup from 2021, and seeing if you have the symptom. And that would differentiate where the actual problem may be. Regardless, let's say you still have the symptom. Well, that says there's definitely a hardware problem for us to go after. If you don't have the symptom, that tells us that it's probably not a hardware problem, and it probably is something in the operating system or some kind of a conflict or a driver somewhere, and it may require a fresh Windows install, a corrupted Windows, as you said. I think clearly the Jim answer is to reinstall Windows and rebuild everything from scratch, but the Doug
that's a lot of
answer,
work.
yeah, it's a lot of work. And so if there's a way to salvage it, the thing that I see at this point is make a fresh image backup, restore the 2021. And if it's working fine, then restore the current image and see if it's also working fine. It could be. That would be striking lucky.
Okay.
And if you still have the problem, hey, I'm open to pursue this further.
Okay. It'll also give you time to,
think.
think this over. Again, thinking on your feet is kind of hard to do sometimes. Yeah. You're not familiar with the person's machine. That takes time. Let's see. I had a thought. Again, I would probably, I'm going to do everything you suggest. Okay. Making an image of this and doing everything we discussed, and using the curiosity of a technician to find out the root of this problem as a learning process. So the next time, this knowledge can help resolve an issue quicker. Does that sort of make sense? But I spoke down that road where you let your Doug curiosity in solving a problem come into play. I'm kind of going down that road. Yes, I could wipe it out and start all over. Okay, I could do that.
Yeah. And in the end, once you've actually got to the whole end of this, you could look back on it and say, well, I would have saved a whole lot of time if I just would have reinstalled from the beginning. Because even if you go through the Doug method and try to track down out of curiosity, we could still fail.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you still wind up doing a fresh install, and it winds up taking 10 times longer than it would have if you would have done it quicker, as Jim would do. And I think Jim will wind up seeing this, and he knows we're not criticizing that at all. It's a smart thing to do. But we are more interested in learning. Now, I want to make one exception. Going through all this, if we're successful finding the result, that the benefit of that is not that if I get faced with the same circumstance, I'll know the answer quicker. The benefit of it is exercising all of these troubleshooting methods and techniques and keeping fresh on them. And all the time that I am offering to do troubleshooting for people, every time it's getting me back doing those processes over again, and perhaps getting to the most helpful test sooner. But that's a drawing the short straw, I guess, or whether you get to the best one first. All right.
Yes. Okay. That's as great. I hope you can cut and paste and create something that everybody can enjoy.
Well, I'm probably going to just upload it as is at first. And I suggest you look at it, and if there's anything there that you want me to go edit out, let me know that, because editing this means I have to watch through the whole thing 4 or 5 times to find things to cut out. It's massively time consuming to edit a video like this.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So as we went through all this, did you see anything that...
No, there was nothing. I would have made notes about just things to edit out.
Okay, file names. I got nothing goofy. If I write erasable, that is for me to say, hey, that's a junk file. Get rid of it during cleanup. Whatever. So,
and the other thing is, it's so highly unlikely that a particular nefarious person is going to be watching the screen so closely to pick up on some little piece of information that they might be able to twist. I have actually exposed a fair amount of my own personal stuff. It's never been any consequences.
Okay. All right. This was great, Doug.
All right.
I got to tell you this. I have to be a responsible adult. I should have been doing things earlier today, but that's okay. I will handle them. I will do this stuff and keep in touch with you by email.
Okay.
But yeah, I probably might not get to it till tomorrow.
There's no time pressures from me. You do it when you get around to it.
Okay. I can always watch you on my good old faithful Windows 7 machine. Okay.
Yeah. You're actually even able to use this computer for a while until you choose to do that whole process.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks. You're welcome. Wow. Okay. Till next time. Bye.
Catch you later. Bye.